This lecture we are going to see the important topic in the machining, that is metal cutting. So from this lecture onwards we will discuss some points regarding to metal cutting. In today's lecture we are going to see the introduction of the metal cutting process. So definition of metal cutting is that it is the process of producing the desired size of a workpiece by removing unwanted material from a block of a metal in the form of chip. Suppose we want to produce a job like this size. So it is having some diameter D1 and diameter D2. So we want to produce this type of workpiece with the desired size. So for that, what we are doing, we are having a block. So from this block we are removing the unwanted material. So we are removing this unwanted material so that we'll get the final size of the job like this. So the metal cutting process is what? Getting the desired size of a workpiece by removing unwanted material from the block in the form of chips. So this metal cutting process is used to determine, or we are going to analyze this metal cutting process for determining the forces in machining, power consumptions required in machining, temperature induced during machining, and to define tool life. So first, why we require to understand how many forces are generated in machining. If the forces we know how many generated, so based on these forces we can finalize what will be the rigidity required for the machine. So whatever the machine we are using, it should be vibration free. For that we should know how many forces are generated in the machining operation so that we can define the rigidity for the machine. Second one, we have to know power consumption. If we know the how many power consumption is taking place, based on that we can finalize the prime mover required in machine. So based on the power consumption, what will be the prime mover which is required, we can finalize. Then temperature induced during machining. So whenever we are doing the machining operation, we are removing the material in the form of chips. So at the time of removing the material, we are getting the friction at the tool and the workpiece interface. So because of this friction, there is a possibility that the heat will be generated. So that heat is nothing but temperature. So why we have to analyze the temperature induced during machining. So if the temperature which is generated in the machining, if it should be less than the hot hardness temperature of tool material. The temperature which is induced during machining, it should be less than the hot hardness temperature of a tool material. So hot hardness temperature means what? It is the minimum temperature. In which it can give better hardness to the tool material. So it is a minimum temperature. If we are getting that minimum temperature, the hardness will be better. If the temperature which is induced is greater than the hot hardness temperature, then the hardness of the tool material comes down. So now for that we will take one example for the one tool, that is high carbon steel tool. So if we consider the temperature and the hardness value, at room temperature it is having the hardness of RC65, and the temperature while doing the machining operation, if it is increased to the 100 degrees Celsius, then RC value is coming down to 64. If the temperature is 200 degrees Celsius, then RC we are getting, that is 63, and 250 degrees Celsius we are getting the RC as 62, and if you getting the more temperature, that is 260 degrees Celsius, then RC we are getting 61. So here the hardness values goes on decreasing. So if we consider at the RC62, the high carbon steel tool will work properly and it will remove the material easily. So this 250 degrees Celsius is a hot hardness temperature for the high carbon steel. Same like other tools, that is high speed steel, it is having a 600 degrees Celsius temperature, that is hot hardness temperature. For then carbide, it is having 1000 degrees Celsius, and ceramics 1200 degrees Celsius. So this is the temperature, hot hardness temperature. So the whatever the temperature is generated, it should be less than this value, that is hot hardness temperature, so that the hardness of the tool remains same and it can remove the material easily. Then last one is the tool life. So by knowing the tool life, it is possible to select optimum process parameters. If we know the tool life, we can select optimum process parameters so that the tool life should be more than the tool changing time. So if you know the tool life, then we can select the optimum process parameter so that the tool life is higher than the tool changing time. Now there are some factors affecting the machining operation. Some factors are there whenever we are doing the machining operation. These factors are majorly affecting while we are removing the material. First one is the properties of a workpiece material. Suppose the workpiece material is having the higher hardness, if it is more, then for removing the material the forces required will be more. If the forces required is more, then power consumption will be more. If the power consumption and forces are there, then tool wear will be more. If the tool wear is more, then the tool life will be less. Means tool will wear out easily and tool life will be less. If the material is having more ductile, then these forces will be less, power consumption will be less, tool wear will be less, and ultimately the tool life will increase. These are the properties of the workpiece material. Regarding the tool geometry, if the geometric properties of single point cutting tool also influencing the machining conditions, like if we increase the back rake angle, then the forces will decrease, power consumption will decrease, and ultimately the tool life will increase. Then third factor, that is interaction between tool and workpiece, means the process parameters. Like speed, feed, and depth of cut. So if we increase the speed, if the speed is increased, then that will increase the power consumption and that will reduce the tool life. If we increase the feed and depth of cut, then if we increase this feed and depth of cut, then that will increase the forces that will increase the forces and that will increase the power consumption, and that will lower down the tool life. Then last factor, that is cutting fluid. So the cutting fluid is act as a lubricant in the friction zone. Whenever we are doing the machining operation, in the contact with the workpiece and the tool, there is a generation of friction due to the forces, and this cutting fluid is act as a lubricant in this friction zone. So due to this lubrication, the friction will be reduced. And that will ultimately reduce the forces and power consumption. So if the forces and power consumption is reduced, then tool life will increase. And there is a possibility that the surface finish which required, that will be better if the friction is reduced, as this cutting fluid is act as a lubricant in this friction zone. So in this today's lecture, we have seen the introduction for this metal cutting process. From the next video, we are going to see the second most important point, that is single point cutting tool. What are the different angles? So if you like this video, please subscribe my channel.